Wait, Brinkerhoff, I'm in the booth. I got broadcaster Clay alongside of me. I also have Butters sitting in here, so it's kind of like a cup broadcast today. We don't have Sauce. He's busy hosting that lobby that some of y'all are racing in, and BD has not shown up. So don't hope, we could see Chase come in here soon, but for now, we're just it's gonna be the three of us, huh, guys? So say hello to the fans out there.
Hello.
Hey, what's up, boys?
Oh, that was tons of energy. Good job, guys. Thank God people are here to hear you all. So we're going to have a bit more of an organizational. Last time we totally didn't know what we were doing. We just kind of like showed up. And now I think we have a bit of an idea. I'm going to try and get back on to the stream here because I think we're getting some comments. Unless you want to do that for me, Chase.
I got it.
All right, thanks.
Let's see. Nike's tuned in, watching. Good to see and hear from you. Hope everyone had a great Christmas holiday with your friends and your family and your loved ones. So.
Yeah, Merry Christmas. Happy New Year coming up. We'll have a New Year before we start talking. Before we start racing again. Next, we still have 2 Fridays off before we get to the next race.
Yeah,
Let's see.
The look of it break with these guys wanting a fun race. We had some Friday night too, I believe. Friday night, yeah. These guys are really itching to race. Maybe we shouldn't even had a holiday break. I don't know.
I think this weekend we definitely had to have off, but next weekend maybe we could have actually raced. But well, who knows? For now, we did the right thing, I think, by our drivers, and we gave them the 2 weeks off. And we had a week off for Thanksgiving. We raced 3 races. We had a week off. Then we raced 3 races, and now we have 2 weeks off. And the rest of the season, this is it. We're going from January until April, every Friday. So everyone's got to, they got to show up. You're going to be competitive. You want to win a championship. You want to fight for, a high standing, legacy points. Don't forget. You got to show up.
Come back with a fresh mind and wanting to get after this shit.
All right, so Blakey, you're bringing in our guest, aren't you?
Well, it's supposed to be Blakey, but
well, give him a little message.
You kind of sneak peeked him a little bit. Yeah, I just checked in with him to see if he's interested in doing here tonight. We'll get everyone on at some point, but yeah, there might be a chance that we just fly with the 3 of us tonight, and then if Sauce and Chase show up here in a little bit, we'll be rolling with them.
Excellent. All right, so hopefully Chase shows up. Hopefully Blakey gets the message and comes on in. And, maybe Sauce will show up, and who knows. Oh, there we go. There's Blakey. Blakey, welcome, guest host to the Cobra E-Racing Snake Pit podcast.
He's fired up.
Blakey, if those who don't know, just let them know you race for me, but let them know who you are, what car you're in, what team you're on, where you are in the standings maybe, and where you're from. Woo-woo.
Blake, we can't hear you, pal. They can't hear you in the comments.
Oh, you got to share. You got to share your audio. All right, well, while Blakey gets set up, he does race for me. He runs the Rum Runners. He runs the 43 car. He runs the Air Force scheme pretty much every week. Pretty proud of that scheme he is. And when he was leading the points for a while, now he's, I think, 3rd, 4th. I'm trying to bring it up, but I'm looking at another sheet. That's your job, Clay. You're the stats guy without Chase here.
He's 5th currently in the standings. He is 43 points above the cut line, and he's 60 points behind our points leader in the Cup Series. That is the 12 of Elite Precision. But Blakey T, 5th in the point standings. He has 5 top 10s and 6 starts. And that was 5 top 10s in a row. He most recently at Charlotte It didn't have the night he was looking for.
Engine failure. We had equipment failure for the first time in the Rum Runner stable, and that struck Blakey. Has 3 top 5s also and 1 podium. Looking for that first win. So welcome aboard, Blakey. What we're gonna do is here's what's on the slate for the episode, right? On tap. There you go. I'm trying to think of what to say. On tap. Here's what's on tap. So we're going to go through the 3 series. For each series, we're going to go over the top 10 in standings, the points leader we'll talk a little bit about, and then obviously we'll talk about some guys who might not be in the top 10 as of yet. And then we'll have a little bit of our final thought on the series, on the division. All right, and we'll go through all 3 series. We'll have a little conversation in between, and then we'll get out of here. How's that sound?
Let's have at it.
Oh, good man.
All right, so bring up your stat sheets. Make sure you guys know who we're talking about, what we're talking about. So we have the Xfinity Series up first. Yours truly is a driver in that series, and it's a real competitive series, especially with Patton driving around there with us and Hamilton as well. Patton is our points leader. Rightfully so. He's been kicking everyone's butts down in the Xfinity Series. And he said, because this is his first season with Cobra E-Racing, he said he wanted to earn his way into Cup. Now, I'm just going to be a little frank here. It's bullshit, because everybody here knows him and has raced with him in countless leagues. And he is in, like, it's not bullshit, he's in Xfinity. He's right. He could be in there. He has the right. But, I mean, let's be real. The guy is so talented, he needs to be up in Cup racing every week. But here he is, leading the points. Hamilton is the second, Masope's third, Mopao and Nuka is fourth, and WRX rounds out your top 5. Jose Protege, Mike Marini, Chase Beatty, bad guy, up in ninth, and then Derek Cope, the other Rum Runners driver, he is in 10th position. All right, so there you go, guys. Blakey, Butters, Clay, Private Patton, still driving the Xfinity Series. What the F?
No, I'm not surprised by that. I think it's noble of him to want to earn his way in Cup, and there's some opinions out there about how people feel a certain way, but let's just be honest. He's gonna be a front runner whether he's in Cup or whether he's down here in Xfinity. But you know what? He's having a fantastic year. He's won 7 of the 12 stages we've had so far. Has 2 fastest laps. He's already accrued 19 playoff points, 181 points above the cut line with 4 wins, all 4 in a row. No, sorry. There's a gap in between one of those wins, I do believe. He got his first win at Auto Club. Then he's won 3 in a row since he won at Mid-Ohio. He won at Iowa, and then he won at Charlotte. He's won 4 in a row. He has 4 podiums and 5 top 10s. So he's having a really dominant year there, Brink.
Yeah, he could have won Phoenix, but a late caution kind of screwed him out of the lead there. So he could have had the 5th win out of 6 starts. I mean, Daytona is the only one he logistically didn't have a strong shot at winning. He could have won, but not like the other tracks.
You got an interesting case sitting there in the 2nd position. Patton's teammate in Hamilton, who's 125 points above the cut line with 2 stage wins this year. The interesting thing to note about him is he has yet to finish outside the top 10 this year after scoring 10th place at Charlotte, one of his toughest races so far this year. Yet to find victory lane, but he has 3 podiums and 3 top 5s. He and Patton have finished 1-2 multiple times this year for that loss in the Sauce Motorsports camp.
Chime in anytime, Blakey. Don't feel you are a guest host here tonight, and
he's letting his mic charge. I do believe.
Butters, you too, man. So, all right. So, yeah, we were kind of in the Xfinity Series. We're kind of racing for 2nd place. 3rd place, by the way, has only 4 starts, and it's Masope's. And in his 4 starts, he has 1 win. He also has 3 podiums. So he's been top 3 out of 3 of his 4 starts. I think his one not podium, he might have been a DNF, might have been a lag out, or some other thing might have occurred.
No, he didn't quite have a lot of luck around him at Mid-Ohio, so he finished, I believe, he finished in the top 10, but he didn't get on the podium.
No, yeah, he did have a top 10. You're right, I missed that. Okay, so yeah, so Masope's 4 starts, 4 top 10s, but 3 podiums. So that's pretty crazy for Masope's here, who started late. He was up in Cup, raced 2 races, and then moved back down here to Xfinity.
Yeah, and I think that was a good move for him. I think much has been made about how Chewy's handled things with his team, with all the chaos surrounding Black Bear Racing. There's no secret for those of us that are in the league and are in our Discord every week. Not to throw shade at all, but I think Chewy put Masopes in a position to where Masopes has a chance to go for not only just wins, but as you can see now, fighting for a championship potentially.
Yeah, it looks like, Hamilton's in second place, respectfully so. But Masopes, had he had all 6 starts, it's a strong case that he is at least the only one competing with Patton. I still believe we're all fighting for second place, but with Masopes, honestly, maybe we're all fighting for third.
There you have it.
I'm back.
Welcome back, Blakey.
Can you hear me?
Sure
Yep,
can.
we got you.
Can everybody at home hear him?
Turn yourself up just a touch bit more. Yeah, and y'all in the comments let us know if you can hear Blakey T or not.
If you can hear my beautiful voice, everybody, please. I need to know.
We got 5 views and worth 3 of them.
Hey, that's all right.
So, all right,
So
Blakey, have you been able to listen in?
I've been listening in a little bit. I'm just sitting here looking. I'm not very tech killer, so yeah, a little bit. Patton's killing it everywhere he goes, basically.
Yes. He's like McDonald's, man. He's everywhere, and he's on top.
Blakey T, what you thinking about Hamilton having yet to finish outside the top 10 in Xfinity this year so far?
Very consistent. That's for the game in this league is consistency, and I've let it. It's been my kryptonite the past 2 races we've had. So, doing good. I was doing good for a while, and I know the Hamilton's doing the same thing. Be consistent. That's all you got to do.
And then the other thing we were talking about was Chewy's decision to move Masopes down to Xfinity. Seems to be a great move for Chewy.
Yes and no. I feel like if I was in Chewy's position and with the departure of a certain driver, I feel like it'd be time for Masopes. He is very consistent wherever he goes. So, but Xfinity works out pretty good too, So, I can respect his decision to keep him there. But, if it was me, yeah, go ahead and bring him back up. Like musical chairs with positions, musical chairs.
So before we get into the rest of this, Blakey T, they are saying that you need to turn yourself up just a little bit if possible.
Well, what the heck, guys? Okay. One issue, and now I got to go through another issue. What are you doing?
Sorry, let's go through your settings, make sure the mic volume's up there. So, all right, so that's the top 3. Mopao and Nuka, who won Daytona. No, he didn't win. He won Daytona for Cup.
He won Daytona for Cup.
Right,
yeah.
right. So he's in 4th place. He's had some pretty strong showings. WRMX Mike as well. But some of these other guys have had some up and down moments. Jose Protege wasn't strong at Phoenix. Mike Marini had some good runs, but he wasn't very strong at Charlotte last week. Chase Beatty, he had some good runs that he got caught up in some wrecks or some other issues, and he ended up in the top, just outside top 15 in at least one of those races. And surprising to me, no disrespect, but Bad Guy being up, this is a strong field, and Bad Guy being 9th after 6 races is pretty impressive for him, and Derek Cope as well being top 10.
Yeah. Kind of just going through these guys a little bit. Nuka's just been incredibly consistent this year, especially in the stages, scoring a number of points, and I think stage points really, really matter. WRX Mike had a strong start to the year. His last couple weeks haven't quite gone the way he's wanted it to, but those aren't necessarily his bread and butter tracks that we've been to. We're getting ready to go to his home track of Chicagoland, so we'll see if Mike can come away with his first win. I'm interested with this curious case that is Jose Protege. Won top 10 this year, yet is 6th in points. He is an enigma all on his own this year, it feels like, to me. What you thinking there, Brink or Butters?
It's weird. He doesn't have any stage wins. He doesn't have any playoff points. So, I don't know how many stage top 10s he has, but that must be where he's gaining some extra points.
I've just found that case really interesting.
Yeah, the guy's a very consistent guy too. But he's just had a lot of bad luck, I think, and that's the kind of the price you pay in this racing. It's he's just been in a couple of incidents, and that's put him behind. But he's a top 5 contender every week. He can get up there. It's just about staying up there. And yeah, poor guy. He's been in a lot of accidents already this season so far. So.
Yeah, he's had a tough year. Yeah, he's had a tough year starting out. But Jose, man, He's a veteran at this, and if he stays in that top 10 and he makes the playoffs, I'm for sure you're going to see some noise coming out of Jose. I mean, he's a crafty driver. Some of these guys sometimes thinks he gets a little too damn aggressive, but Jose is Jose. Everybody knows how he drives. Like you said, Blakey just said, he's had a rough start, had a few wrecks involvement here that kind of put him out of contention, but he's holding on strong yet. Sitting in 6th, and I look for him to have some noise yet this year, guys.
So, and then you have Marini here in 7th, and let me kind of recount how his season has gone so far this year. He won at Daytona. He won the season opener at Daytona, then proceeded at Auto Club to finish last. He finished last at Auto Club due to an incident at the beginning, I believe, of stage number 3. Then he did not make the Phoenix race. I believe he was out of town or gone for some reason for that race. And then he finished in the top 3. He finished 3rd at Mid-Ohio. And then after that, he finished outside the top 10 at Iowa. He finished outside the top 10 at Charlotte. And he finished outside the top 10 at the other track, which is currently escaping me at this point in time. Let me look at this real quick just so that I can remember.
I think Marini, while you looked that up, to me, it's he's had a mixture of some good runs and some lucky runs where he didn't get caught up in the situation. But then at Charlotte, he did, and he was actually higher in the points, believe it or not. He's now fallen to 7th. So it's still a pretty strong season out of the guy driving the number 20 car for Pete Colligator.
Yeah, and based on what I just accounted to you, he has either finished on the podium or outside the top 10.
Right, so all or nothing. That's Marini this year. All right, so Blakey, give me a guy in the Xfinity Series, if you got to look at the list, that's outside the top 10 that you feel like is a strong candidate to not only get into the top 10, but maybe even move further into the top 5.
All right, give me a second. I'm going to do some detective work here.
Butters, Clay, you could chime in too. Go right ahead.
Look, here's the deal. Sorry, Butters, you go ahead. Butters, you go ahead.
What I'm looking at in the last couple weeks, I believe, or I know for sure the last race we had, I think this guy is going to hit a streak, and I believe he's going to work his way up into that top 10, and that's Robbie Racing. Also,
all right.
Mills a little bit started out slow. The way some of the talk coming into this season when he was joining the league, everybody had some high, not expectation, but just high praise about him. And like I said, I don't know if he just got off a little bit on a rough start either, but he's making up some ground. I mean, I could see Robbie Racing and Mills both getting themselves in the top 10.
All right, here's Robbie. Yeah, Robbie Racing been driving the 18 car. Mills, I was on the 6 car for a while. I forgot my screen was staying on the same car. I'm trying to switch it around when we're talking about guys. But yeah, Robbie drives the 18 car. So yeah, Pete Colligator's team is strong. Has had his luck has been up and down in the Xfinity Series, but we know that so long Sauce, his team, Litsum Racing, has kind of been the class of the Xfinity field. Speaking of Litsum, bad guy, we mentioned his name, he's 9th. Is he going to stick around the top 10, or is he the guy who's going to drop out when Robbie Racing, to Butters' prediction, comes up in?
Yeah, get him out of here. He didn't last long. Get Robbie Racing up in points. I feel like bad guys, it's bad for the guy. I mean, honestly, I don't think that he's going to be enjoying the points. Top 10 points much longer. And
it's going to be tough. That's for sure.
I was looking at the points, and I don't know if obviously his appearances have been not very consistent. I don't know if it's just he's been busy. But a good friend of mine, Mo Power Cat, if he can make it all these races, he's a contender to win almost every week too.
Listen, and let's not forget the defending series champion, who's sitting 14th in the points in Monster Racing. We haven't really gone to the tracks that really suit his skill set, and we saw how great he was in the Xfinity Series down the stretch, ultimately winning that championship. Now, if he doesn't make the playoffs, that'll end his 2-season streak of making the Final Four, because he's made the Final Four the last 2 Xfinity seasons, and he won last year, so...
That's true, and if you want to talk about bad luck, I don't think anyone has had the amount of bad luck that Monster has had so far this year.
but at the same time, it's an opportunity for him to see how much of a a championship mindset he has. I mean, he's won it before, like you said. Now, of course, anything can happen in these race days, but I mean, he's won it before. He knows how to get there. He just, has to kind of. I don't know if it's all because he's been wrecked. I haven't really got a chance to watch all these Xfinity races, but I don't know if he's been wrecked a lot. I don't know, but I'm assuming that he's just been caught up in bad wrecks. That's why he's so far in the back. But
something about this series, I think, is that qualifying is pretty important. And Monster, he's not the biggest qualifier. He never really has, but he's always been a top performer when it comes to the race. I think in this series, in this division this year, it is becoming evident that if starting at the back is a huge disadvantage, because this field is so tight and trying to move up through it, and everyone's trying to fight for the same spot. Things occur a lot.
Yeah. And here's the thing about it: between 7th and 18th in points is separated by 50 points. People don't understand that is the difference. If someone misses that race, they could fall that far down. We just saw GTR Jacob, who's currently. The result, he fell from 4th on the playoff grid to 11th. This series is so tight that you simply just cannot miss a race.
So currently in the team standings, Black Bear Racing is 36 points ahead of Litsum. Rum Runners is 146 points back in 3rd. 162 points back is Gorilla Autosport, and then Venom Racing.
Looking at the wrong standings?
Oh, I'm looking at Cup. I was moving ahead, but I wanted to get that out, so my bad. No, the Litsum is leading Xfinity. Black Bear is 100 points in 2nd place. Gas is in 3rd. Venom Racing is in 4th, and Rum Runners is 188 points back in 5th. Yeah. We've had some pretty bad luck in a bunch of these races. However, we have a lot of time to turn it around. There's so much racing left. All right, let's go to the Cup side of things. All right, so we can just move this stuff right along. And currently your points leader in Cup is Elite Precision. He has, of his 6 starts, he has no wins, but 5 top 10s, 4 top 5s, 2 podiums. Meat Wagon, also of Black Bear Racing, is in 2nd. Cyogenic is in 3rd.
He drives for Litsum.
Oh, Meat Wagon, my bad. Meat Wagon drives for Litsum. He's in 2nd. Cyogenic drives for Black Bear Racing. He's in 3rd. Freedom Flyer also drives for Litsum. He's in 4th. And then Blakey, driving for Rum Runners, is 5th. 6th through 10th is Long Live the Sauce, JCR Clashin', P. Colligator, Guardian, and Cyber K Bionic. Clay, the Cup Series, it's been ultra competitive to this point.
Yes, it has. Although I don't know that I would say that the midfield battle is as intense as Xfinity is, because we just saw how tight it is in points. But I think, for whatever reason, you got your guys that run up at the front every race, Elite and Scio, and even you, Blakey. You just finished outside the top 10 for the first time, and it was due to a blown engine there, but you've ran up front too. I think there's always the 2 or 3 people that stay up at the front, and then there's another car or 2 that happens to run up at the front, and so what we get is a 4, 5, maybe even 6 car battle for the win, and it gets intense. And now, granted, we've seen Patton run up in Cup the last couple weeks, and he's already used, I believe, at least 3 of his 4 hot seat spots, so he's coming up on the end of all of that. And I don't believe that we'll be seeing him in Cup much longer, because we're due to get Drunk Fest back to drive that number 24. So excited to have him back, because we know how good Drunk Fest is and how good he has been in the past. What I'm really looking at here is where I think we're at with this series is. And people are free to prove me wrong. Understand, I'm not knocking anyone in specific. But what I'm thinking is based on what I'm looking at in the points, I think there are 14 competitors right now for 10 spots in the playoffs. Maybe a 15th if you want me to count Sludge. I'm counting JoJo down there in 18th. He's only made 2 starts. Maybe I should count Taddy as well. He's only made 3. But I really feel like that the way that the field is rolling, I feel like we're seeing some of the same guys even still at the front. and even inside the top 10 a little bit. So I really just feel like that it's not quite as competitive as Xfinity is, at least in the midfield.
Huh. Interesting. I don't actually agree with you there, Clay. I think it's been even more competitive than Xfinity. I think 6th through 15th has often, flip-flopped throughout the entire race, even more so than Xfinity has. They're very bunched up in that range, usually at these tracks, where we've been so far anyway, Daytona withstanding. Blakey, you're a part of it. You're 5th place, man. I know you're higher up. Charlotte wasn't kind to you. This break probably came at the right moment for you there. Personally appreciate everything you do here for Rum Runner Racing, but sitting in 5th, what do you think so far of the competitiveness, the way things have been going?
Man, well, I just want to throw it back to, the only reason why I lost a lot of points is because, obviously Iowa was my downfall. There was some connection issues with a certain driver who I will not name. And, yeah. So, but, we managed to battle back for that. But, it's just, Charlotte was a bad race for us all, I think. We didn't have what we needed there, and it's okay. Things happen like that sometimes. And I kind of screwed myself on the first stage, and I just could never battle back from that. And, yeah, the top 10 is pretty competitive. I mean, really, the whole field's pretty competitive. The ones who usually aren't, I don't know. I didn't really stay around for the most, after the race or towards the race. And I don't know where everybody else finished, but there's a lot of people that I'm sure were happy with their finish. And it was double points night too, and it's just
yeah. It's kind of one of the main reasons why you lost so much was that you had a bad night on double points night.
Yeah. So I was just. It is what it is. We can battle back pretty strong at Chicagoland. Always had good battles with people at Chicagoland. And, most of these tracks are kind of my forte, I would say. I mean, there's some tracks that I'm not particularly great at, but, that's fine. We get past them, and I think we're good for the rest of the season. We just got to keep staying consistent, and just stay up front, because you never know what can happen. I mean,
that's true.
We just got to hold tight, hold strong, boys. That's all I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to hang on, just for that glimpse of hope that I make it to the Final Four for another season. I think that we have a chance to go out there and win it if we can. So, I got that Rum Runner's engine. Yeah, we got the best engine out here. We had a bad incident last time, but you know what? It's fine. I was just shifting the gears a little too much, and next thing I know, blam. The transmission blew up, and the next thing I know, engine is on fire. Things happen. It's fine. We're going to be stronger than ever next race, I promise. I'm going to try to win it next time.
What's that line? And the magic to tell button?
Yeah. We're just going to hit that reset button. I mean, look, everything's good. Everything's great. The spirits have never been, happier and higher here at the team. We got some great teammates. We got some of the best. And I'm looking for probably your dad to kind of go on a hot streak too. We just had bad luck there. So I think I'm looking for him to go on a hot streak.
We can transition to probably your dad because Butters, you race with probably your dad a lot in like Taddy series as well. You tell us, he's 11th. Do you think he's got the chops here to bring another Rum Runner racer into the top 10?
Oh, most definitely. I mean, this guy has been, I think he's really impressive. I mean, you look at it, he's only sitting 4 points back. I mean, it only takes one of these other guys sitting in that, 7, 8, 9, 10 spot just to have a bad night, and he's going to find himself right up in there, man. Along with Mike G. I mean, this guy has got, the guys below the cut line right now. Mike G's got 3 top 10s. It's the most of those guys back there below the cut line. But yeah, going back to probably your dad. Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's going to take one night. Like you said, like Clay said before with Xfinity, these guys are going to be, if they want to make a run playoffs, they're going to be forced to show up every week if they care about. So it's going to be where the rubber meets the road now, guys. The grind's going to start here coming down the stretch, and it's going to get real interesting, man. I'm really going to look forward to seeing how this is going to play out.
Right, and outside. Go ahead. I was going to say, outside the top 10, because you wanted to go there, Fire Slayer's got 3 starts. He's 13th. Memory is 4th. And, he had to miss a race or two. And then Sludge, who's kind of been underperforming, as we said last week, he's 14th. So you have, I look at the back end of the top 10, and you have P-Cola Gator in 8th, right? That's the top gas driver. Guardian in 9th, that's Venom. And then the other gas driver in the top 10 is Cyber K Bionic. And then all those names we just mentioned. It's got to be pretty stressful if you're, about 8th, 9th, 10th in these standings.
Well, yeah, the pressure is definitely on those guys. That's what's going to be nuts about this shit. Is if the guys looking in, they have nothing to lose, man. They're going to go out there and drive their asses off. But the guys at the 8, 9, and 10 spot, they're going to be, they're the ones that's going to be the, white knuckle on it. They're going to be trying to hold on for dear life because they got some boys behind them chomping at them.
Right, they got to get stage points. But all right, go ahead, Clay. Sorry.
So one thing that's really interesting to me, there's a couple guys on here that I want to get to, but in recent weeks, a lot of y'all know that a lot of the drivers here in Cobra also race over in Patton's League, Millennium. We don't really call it a sister league, but we, at the same sense, there's so much crossover. Like here in recent weeks, we've just added Butters. You jumped over. Picola jumped over, Clashin jumped over, Nike jumped over, Mike G jumped over, a bunch of guys jumped over from Cobra to Millennium as well. But a couple guys that are really doing well here in Cobra in recent weeks that came the reverse way, that being from Millennium to Cobra. RS Meatwagon there in 2nd and Cyber in 10th. I remember a point in time where Meatwagon was back in 4th or 5th in the point standings. And Cyber was back in 15th or 16th. So a couple guys coming the reverse way from Millennium to Cobra, kind of figuring it out a little bit.
I do think it's like a huge, I don't know the proper way to say it. I guess eye-opener to a lot of drivers. Because, let's be honest, each driver, they have their own mindset of, I'm pretty good, and... let's just, let's just put me for example. I know how my skill level is with most of these drivers. I know I could be a contender each week. Let's just say that, right? They come to this league, you got some contenders maybe over there on the MRL. And they come over here and they're like, what the heck? These guys over here are a lot faster in some places, you know what I mean? So, they're all getting used to it. And I think that some of them, they're going to have their hot streaks eventually, but there's some that's kind of, okay, we're waiting for you to finally have a hot streak. There's a couple. I'm still waiting for Cyber to kind of come through, because, dude's a contender. He is. I think he's figuring it out. It's a lot of new faces, a lot of new people he's got to run with. And same thing with a couple others.
And Cyber's a 2-time champion in the Cup Series over in Millennium of 3 seasons that have been ran so far. We're in season 4 currently, but he's won 2 of those 3 championships, and he's 10th in the points here.
So it could take the slightest mistake for him to lose it. So he has to be on his game, or just a lot more consistent each week. From now on until he finds something that the others don't have. Or give or take. God forbid I have a couple bad weeks. Hopefully not. But if I do, I'm going to have to fight even harder just to stay in the points, because that's how competitive this is. Not saying Xfinity isn't, but this is how the Cup, it's obviously Cup compared to Xfinity. This is the real deal over here. And there's some real deal drivers in the Xfinity, but this is where the best of the best is at, I think. So, I'm stressed every week. I already got gray hair and I'm only 25, so... every week, guys. Every week, I'm stressed to the max, just hoping I don't get involved in the incident. And I've been able to keep it clean most weeks, but man, these past 2 weeks now, I'm stressing. It's to the point where I just have to. You have to think ahead, and you have to. I don't even try to put the perfect word for it, but you gotta think 2 steps ahead before it even happens. Because if you don't, you're gonna find yourself in the back, and it's a pain to get back up front. Because that's how fast it goes.
You're right. It's true, because the strategy your pit stops, all of that comes into play. And it's all different. If you're in the top 5, your strategy is going to be different than if you're running 11th or 12th. So, and you have to find that edge. It's the same as in real life racing. Okay? But it looks like we lost broadcaster Clay for the rest of the broadcast, so it's just Butters, me, and Blakey here for the time being. Hopefully Chase still joins on up. Still could happen. The last few 20 minutes of this.
I don't know. To me, it's crazy to see some of the speed that some of these guys have. Now, I mean, yeah, like most of us can compete with a lot of them, but there's these some drivers just have a lot more speed, or just a lot. They've done it a little bit longer, and they just kind of know how to do it a lot better than some of us do. And it's just crazy because we got to push ourselves to the limit just to keep up with them. And they're just driving. They're doing a Sunday drive most of the time. So it's fun. It's fun. But if I'm like I said, gray hair, 25. It ain't good. I'm already balding. That's about it.
So in the team standings, we kind of mentioned it earlier by accident, but Black Bear Racing, they are first, but 36 points behind is Litzum. Rum Runner is 146 behind, Gas 162, and Venom is in 5th at 168 behind. The only team without a win is Rum Runner, and actually goes for all series. The only team without a win is Rum Runner Racing. Believe it?
Man, I'm trying.
Well, you got more than you on this roster, so.
I know. I'm trying my best. But at the same time, like I said, anything can happen. You can have. I mean, Iowa was, I think, one of my best chances to actually get a win because I really did have a fast car. I could definitely tell on the tires. Some people fell off, and I've loved the track, so I know how to handle the tires. But when I got involved with an incident, and couldn't. I recovered, but it got back to, I think it was a 9th place finish. But I had the car. And like you just never know what's going to happen, so you just have to be careful. Get 2 or 3 steps ahead. And I wasn't thinking in that moment. I was like, I'm good. And then I get wrecked. So, yeah, you just got to keep your head on a swivel around here. Because, and that, like all our other teammates, they'll catch fire. They'll be fine. I think they're going to be competitive further on down in the schedule, I think. So.
All right, word. All right, so we're going to move up to the Truck Series. And, we did this is kind of how we do all Friday nights. The Xfinity Series goes, and we do the Cup Series, and then rounding it all out is the all-out, now Travesty Tyson, Travesty Sun, all-out Truck Series. So I guess it is the Travis Tyson all-out series, not the Travesty Sun. As we know, named it after our buddy, who we tragically lost just a few weeks ago. But so the truck points, your leader is Nike Boy Will. Story Square is sitting there in 2nd place. Baseball Kid is in 3rd. They've kind of been the class of the field. Cytogenic, of course, but he's moved up to Cup, but he still sits 4th. JoJo, he's also moved up, so he's in 5th. He's going to end up falling back. Warpig, Delgacho, Free OHG, Calling Fan, and Ski Mask Leezy. That's your top 10 in the truck standings. So I don't know how much you've gotten to watch the trucks, Blakey, Butters. You're usually around here, but what do y'all think so far? The Truck Series has been pretty. I mean, when Sauce and I do the races, we get pretty into it. It's pretty exciting.
Yeah, I think obviously, there's a couple people in there that obviously are very talented at this game, but when spots get filled up, they're like, well, I guess I'll be stuck down here for a little bit. But I mean, I think they're enjoying it right now. They're having fun. But I would say it's a proving ground. At least, because you got to prove to see if you want to be up in the Xfinity Series. But I'm looking at Nike Boy Will, man. I mean, I know how good he is. So I think he's a strong contender for the title already. I think he's made 6 starts. I think he's been there for the whole time. I think.
Let me go back to it. Yeah, he's got 6 starts. You said Nike Boy 6, Story Square's got 6, Baseball Kid's got 5.
Baseball Kid is very good too. I think that he can actually contend for wins too. But
he should have had one. Baseball Kid should have had a win.
I didn't get to see what happened, but something must have happened.
It was either like a pit stop thing. Either he pit early. I forget what happened, but yeah, he had the win, and then he did something, and it cost himself the.
And that's the kind of trick. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say he might have spun out, but I don't think he did.
Oh, well, not knowing me, I'm really bad for speeding on pit road. So, yeah, we're gonna move on from that. But yeah, I mean,
This is truck 24.
I think right now, it's Nike Boy is obviously the top guy. I think he is the baseball kid. If what everybody's telling me, I haven't got a chance to watch him that much, but if what everybody's telling me, he's right up there too. I think he can go ahead and contend for a win. Do we have any new drivers that started this week? Or
this week, no. Our newest driver I think is still Fat Tony. RJ Smitty just joined actually, and he just got picked up by Venom Racing. So RJ Smitty will end up racing Cup here soon, but he's 24th in the truck points as it is.
I was gonna say I knew he joined. I didn't know when he was gonna be where he was gonna be starting. But we know how good RJ is too. I think he was a part of this league 2 seasons ago when I first started. So, some work circumstances happened, couldn't come back, and I think now it's finally mellowed out. So now he's able to come back. So that's good for the league to have one of the. I mean, he's a veteran.
Oh yeah.
League racing stuff. He knows how to drive. He's a very fast guy. And a lot of special, especially Pocono. Let's be honest, guys. I don't know if we have Pocono on the schedule, but
we should.
We should, but yeah. RJ's a great driver, so I look forward to competing with him. Me and him always got along. Eventually, I mean, a long time ago, it was a dream team of me, him, and probably your dad. So we always try to catch up when we can. But I'm glad he's back, so that's good.
No Pocono anywhere. We all know the Truck Series, the Cup and the Xfinity Series run the same schedule. The Truck Series runs a slightly different schedule. They are going to go to most of all the same tracks. There's some slight variations depending on the weekend. They get to a different road course maybe. But yeah, no Pocono in any of the schedules this year. I'll have to write to that.
I want to make a suggestion to whoever makes the schedules for next season. Why I don't know who you are, but I want to have a talk with you. Is why'd you take out Canadian Tire for a Cup Series? That was a fun track. I am upset with you whoever took it out, but it's okay. Yeah, I mean road courses are not my bread and butter, as we've seen earlier this season, but yeah, I just enjoy different tracks, and obviously a lot of these tracks test me, so it's I'm nervous. I'm mostly just a short track guy, so I'm just holding on to Bristol, and yeah. So
that's coming up.
That's the only thing I'm looking for. About that, I mean that's it. Bristol's the only chance I got left getting into this win column. So
you're gonna get it. It's coming soon. Butters,
Yes,
what do you
sir.
got? What do you got about the Truck Series, though, man? What do you got for us? You're in it. You've raced in it. You got 4 starts.
I do have 4 starts in this.
So how do you feel about your competitors?
Well, there's definitely strong runners in here, man. It's like you guys were talking. They're the top. Well, obviously Nike Boy is kind of looks like he's running away a little bit with the show. Obviously, locking down that first place here, as we're coming down the stretch. But yeah, I mean, it's we were almost forced. We were forced to start this off season because of the guys we had coming in. So it's just unfortunate. These guys, most of these guys could run Xfinity easily. I mean, in my opinion. So we got a place for them to race, and like I said, it's super competitive. I mean, I see these guys. I mean, there's some really talented, fast guys down there. So I mean, it's like I said, there's really nothing you can say about all 3 series. I mean, in their own way, they are competitive.
It's one of the most competitive leagues out there. I mean, I don't know every league, obviously. Some of you guys are in leagues I've never heard of, but I can't think of another one that's been this competitive in the 2 years that I've been, on Heat 5. Over 2, almost 3. All right, so
speak for Morales. He's out there dominating every week.
So Nike Boy actually was able to chime in on the chat about why Story Square lost that one race. He was dominating. It was Canadian Tire. He didn't take tires at his pit stop and blew a tire with a few to go, with one to go, and then Nike Boy actually won that race. So that's why Story Square. I knew he was dominating a race he didn't win.
Yeah, I've been there. It's not a great feeling. Especially the worst ones is when you run out of gas. Especially last lap, run out of gas. Trying to hold on to it. Yeah, it's just, I've been there. It sucks. So I feel that pain immediately in myself.
It's Baseball Kid. What did I say? What did I call him? Did I call him Baseball Kid?
You called him Story Square.
Oh. Well, I went to the right truck. I went to the 24 truck. But yeah, my bad.
It was one of them. It was somebody,
I'm reading the standings, It's I can be dyslexic too.
But, yeah,
I'm one of the smart retards. Don't forget that.
I'm not, okay. Yeah, I'm not very smart. I just know how to drive car circles. So, that's barely. But, yeah, I mean, like you said, the truck has got a lot of people that I think could make some noise in the Xfinity Series. I mean, there's some people that might even be Cup, ready. I mean, really, it's a game of chance if they want to, get picked up. But I think that there's a lot of people that are talented. Even in the lower series, you got people who are Cup ready in the Xfinity Series, and I think you got people that are Xfinity ready for the Truck Series. So, I mean, I look forward to seeing what moves happen maybe later on in the season. I don't know if there's a trade deadline, but obviously, I mean...
There is. There is.
So, obviously, we can see what happens there. But, I look forward to what happens next season, what moves happen, who gets kept, who gets moved, or, who gets put back into free agency. What will happen, and it makes me so excited. I'm ready for the season to be over. Let's just start it over. Let's start over.
It's going to be interesting with the roster moves we're going to have coming up. Blakey, I don't know if your mic cut out, but you did cut out for me. But, yeah, we've had exciting finishes. I know Nike Boy wants me to talk about the finish at Charlotte. Last week was the only week where we had all three series at the same track. But the trucks finish at Charlotte was pretty effing exciting with Story Square and Nike and everybody. Well, listen, the Truck Series, it's been one of the more exciting series. Cytogenic was coming up through it. JoJo was racing in it. Fire Slayer was racing in it. So, we've had some really talented guys who've already gone through the series and are moving their way up. And I kind of see some other names that if they're not going to move up this season, maybe next season, like Ski Mask Lizzy, Delgatro, Frio HG, who's sitting here in fourth place in the points. We didn't really talk that much about him. Driving for me, actually, in the 45 car? 40 or 45.
Ooh. Okay, I mean, like I said, there's a bunch of people that are. I think they're just waiting for the right moment. I mean, you never know what's going to happen in these racetracks, but I think there's a lot of people that could go out there and win each week, especially in the Truck Series and Xfinity Series. But they got to fight hard for it, because there's a lot of people that it don't take a lot of effort to go out there and dominate a race. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So. There's some people that it just comes naturally to them. There's some people that have to work a little bit harder, maybe practice a little bit more, or just learn better ways to control your truck or car. So, yeah, I look forward to it, seeing who at the end of the season are champions. But a lot of people right now that are up front in points, I think are the strongest contenders to win the title, honestly.
Or somebody told me, learn how to drive a loose race car.
Oh, that's the best. That's how I learned. I was like, no, I can't.
I've always been the tight race car, long run guy, but yeah, I guess I got to get more loose on these setups. All right, so Butters, Blakey, for Clay, we're not going to get a final word, but you guys have a final word on the first 6 weeks here. We're going to have one more. We'll do a bit of a preview for the upcoming races next week, I think, because we'll have nothing else to talk about. But what do you think so far with the first 6 races? How's the league?
Oh, the league's great. I mean, yes, I've had my moments. I've had my moments of being very upset with some drivers, but
I think it's racing in general.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, everybody has, and I'm not sugarcoating it. Everybody has their own ego when it comes to racing, video games in general. And I think that you're seeing some of them that just have that mentality. If I'm not in front, then the heck with you. And some of them that are more veterans and more patient, I found they kind of lost their patience with a lot of people, and I think it would get better as the season progresses. But I think people need to be a little bit more respectful on the track, a little bit more understanding that you can't just plow through someone and them not be upset about that.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine. I mean, things are going to happen. You're still going to accidentally bump into somebody, but you can definitely tell a difference between, okay, I'm just not giving you any breathing room at all, compared to, I accidentally bumped you, I'll try not to again. So
yeah, I'm sorry. It was a long way.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it comes to ego things. If you don't say I'm sorry, they're going to be like, well, that guy doesn't care. But I mean, I've been hit plenty of times, and I can tell the difference between that's an incident and that's intentional. So, I mean, I've been doing it long enough now to where I know a lot of things. But it's been fun for the most part, and I'm still pushing for that win. I'm gonna keep bringing it up. I'm gonna push for this win. I just need a win, and I'll be happy. And all this weight will be off my shoulders. I thought I had it at Iowa. Things happen, so. Just pushing forward to that win. Honestly, just get back into the top 3 or 4 in points. So, 'cause I lost a little bit of points. So, that's just my goal. Just making it to the championship round again. Because I lost it by a pit stop last season. And I'm not letting that happen again. So, just trying to be a little bit more smart. And try to help my teammates get up there and compete too. So, but yeah, I'm looking forward to it. And this 43 is going to victory lane one way or another.
Rock on.
If I have to give him a little bumpy bump, it may happen. I don't know. I'm not saying it, but I'm not counting it out either. So, the Rubens Racing. That's it.
Well, there you have it. Well, again, there's a reason you were my one keeper from last season, and got faith in you, buddy, and appreciate you being here on the podcast. Butters, thanks for hanging out. Clay, thanks for hanging out. And even though you had to run to dinner, appreciate you giving all the time you had today. Everybody who was watching, thanks for watching. And if you catch us later, don't forget, we race Friday nights here in the Cobra E-Racing Series. Xfinity races start at 8. Well, qualifying goes off at 8 o'clock. Then the Cup race qualifying will go off at 9:30. Race shortly after. And the truck race so far is at 11:15, although that might be changing because times we kind of been figuring out some new times. All right, guys, have a great rest of the week. Enjoy your New Year's celebration. Hope you had a Merry Christmas as always. Godspeed and drive fast.